Nice of you to join me in the beginning of a new YouTube channel focused around healthy lifestyle. Something I was not very good at once upon a time and still struggle with a lot. But recently, in the last 2 months, I decided to adopt a plant-based diet, aka becoming vegan. Now, is there a difference between the two? Lately, both seem like they're pretty popular, but there is a difference between the two. Now, a vegan, and I got some notes I took, painstaking research. A vegan is very strict. I don't think there's really like, oh, I'm vegan on weekends. I don't really think that exists, technically, to the hardcore vegans out there. Of course, that's no meat, no dairy, no eggs, no honey, no leather, no products that were tested on animals in any way. To the best, I guess, to the best of your knowledge, it's hard to know everything, medications, yada yada yada. It's hard to know everything, but if you do know it and it's available, you wouldn't use that product. So I can't really say I'm 100% to that standard because I still have I have a pair of leather boots that I paid like $200 for, hiking boots that I'm not throwing out. I have a couple belts. Uh, that's pretty much it that I can think of that's made of leather, but the boots are a non-starter, and they can last me the rest of my life if I take care of them. So, and in the 2 months that I've been vegan, I have had honey, and I've probably had something that you read on the back of things, oh, it may contain traces of egg or milk, or even though it's not an ingredient. So technically, I'm more of a plant-based eater. Vegan is the lingo, the catchphrase, so vegan, yeah, sure. But I think technically there is a distinction between vegan and plant-based. Um, so, reasons for doing this. Well, number one was health. That's what, uh, healthy lifestyle. Uh, you got a lot of diseases associated with diet. Now, diabetes, heart disease, and obesity are chief among these things. And there's plenty more. Alzheimer's, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, strokes, da da da. But in my family, diabetes, there's been a lot of people. My aunt had diabetes, my grandfather had diabetes. My aunt and uncle both have heart disease, or my aunt had, she's passed on, but my uncle has a electronic thing to monitor his heart. So part of that could be genetics, but part of that could just be the way my family eats. We were a heavy meat eating family. A lot of steaks, a lot of prime ribs, a lot of butter, a lot of dairy on everything. Another reason I decided to go plant-based vegan was for weight loss and performance. I looked into the information, and you have a lot of athletes who are going vegan at this point in time and saying that they're getting performance gains. My main hobbies, sports, are road cycling and rock climbing, where your power to weight ratio is everything. If you're carrying an extra 15 to 20 pounds, you're going to get tired faster. You're not going to get that performance that you could be getting. the age-old thing to being healthy is diet and exercise. But I've exercised heavily and found that the conventional wisdom is 50-50. And in my opinion, it's probably closer to 70-30 or 65-35, 65 being diet, 35 being exercise. Maybe 60-40. It's hard to say. It could be different for everybody, but it's in that range. It's not 50-50. All I'm saying is diet is more important as far as your weight. You can still perform well with extra weight, but if you're looking for, that peak performance, because you can exercise all freaking day long. I used to exercise a lot, and I'd be like, why am I not ripped right now? Why am I not shredded? Like, I exercise so much. But a lot of it was unhealthy eating habits, and I think for me, more than the red meat, although I would have weakness for pork, ribs, pulled pork, like very, very weak on that, but for me it was the dairy, the milk, like that 2%, that whole milk, that butter, that cheese. That cheese was tough, and I would I'd break off half a stick of pepper jack cheese and eat it for a snack without even thinking about it, and that's just loaded with fat. Basically, it's a brick of fat and a bunch of other stuff that we're not going to get into in this video. So if you want to learn more about those things, I will attach some links to some good YouTube podcasts that deal with that subject. Rich Roll is a good one. And the last reason, or one of the other reasons I should say, is the cruelty to animals and the impact environmentally of farming. And this is not why I made the switch. I wasn't even thinking about this, but as I started to research stuff, I watched a few movies, including Dominion, which is an Australian film that takes a look at this like hidden video camera inside slaughterhouses. It is absolutely horrifying. It is just terrible the way the animals are treated, what they go through when they're slaughtered. I had no idea. I didn't even think. Here's just one example. I didn't realize that you don't put two and two together of where your food comes from. So I didn't put two and two together that the mother cow, in order to get the milk, has to be impregnated over and over again. And they have a 9-month gestation period, just like humans. So every 9 months until she's worn out, they're just impregnating her. Another one, and then they just rip the calf away, and it's nasty. Like, that's just one example, and I didn't even know that, and I consider myself to be, I'm a pretty knowledgeable guy. I knew, they use a bolt gun or they use a gas chamber. Like, I knew some things, but when you see it and then when you learn some new things that you didn't know, it's like, I did not even know that. There's a reason they don't want you to know that stuff, and I don't care who you are. If you watch some of those videos, like, it'll get to you in one way or another. I mean, if it was your reason for adopting a vegan, plant-based lifestyle or not, it's gonna hit you in the heart, guaranteed. So I will leave a link for Dominion, and there's a bunch of other videos that are similar, but Dominion is like it goes through each species, like, broiler chickens, meat chickens, pigs, cows, ducks. It's crazy. It's really in depth. It won some awards. It's maybe the best that I'm aware of out there. Most comprehensive film. And to learn a little bit more about it, I found some good doctors. There's a whole bunch of doctors and experts, and of course YouTube people, that influencers, that there's a whole string of these dudes that are just ripped, jacked on vegan diets, and they crack me up. I'm definitely not one of those. I mean, I'm in shape and stuff like that, whereas in the past, I've weighed probably 130 pounds more than I do now, and I can't say plant-based veganism is the whole reason I've lost all that weight, but I've lost quite a bit in just 2 months as a vegan. But there's all kinds of people out there. Some of those guys crack me up. But if you want to get the real doctors, scientific reasons behind why meat is not healthy, plants are healthy, there's John McDougall. I will leave a link to some of his videos, his channel rather, and there's Dr. Neil Barnard. Those are two guys amongst a whole plethora of great doctors and other nutritionists, dietitians that are out there that really know their stuff. And there's another guy that gave a really good, I forget his name, but he was an activist. And I just thought of him. I didn't have him in my notes. But he did a whole speech on veganism, and he just was one of those in-your-face but really funny kind of guys. And I'll have to include a link to that video, and that'll be in the notes too. And then of course there's a couple other movies, Game Changers and What the Health. They're both on Netflix. And Game Changers follows athletes around, and it tests like male sexual performance. It tests like athletic performance. It's all these different athletes switching over and blood tests, and quite controversial because some of the not so official science in it, but it's good nonetheless. What the Health is more like, look at these people on tons of medicine, and then all I have to do is switch plant-based and vegan, and they can reverse the symptoms of their arthritis, their heart disease, their diabetes, and get off the some people take like a whole thing of medication like this. I've got multivitamins in mine, but some people have this full of, this could be like a week's worth of their obesity and diabetes drugs. Like, there's a drug that causes a side effect that you need to take another drug for that causes this, that causes that. And next thing you know, you're on them for the rest of your life. Statins and high blood pressure medicine and antidepressants and you name it. But I think, my diet. What have I eaten so far? So you don't have to be rich to be on the plant-based diet. In fact, it's way cheaper than meat. It's crazy. There's a big rumor out there that there's a lot of rumors, and that'll be another video, but I'm big on brown and white rice, black and pinto beans, Trader Joe's veggie chili, sunflower seed butter is the best nut butter ever, and then just fruit. Get a whole pineapple, get a whole melon, have that just around, cut up bananas, have that around, have a ton of fruit around. And, your green vegetables, of course, your snap peas, your broccoli, your kale, your spinach, and potatoes, pasta, but mostly potatoes, sweet and regular potatoes. I mean, everything is dirt cheap. Some of that sun butter, that's like $4.99, $5.99 for a 16-ounce can, so that's a little bit more, but it's not crazy like $12.99 for almond butter or something. And some fruit can be a little more if you get the organic stuff, but it's worth it. Rice is cheaper than dirt. Beans cheaper than dirt. But Trader Joe's veggie chili is like $2.49 a can, and that is the best. I mean, there's way more food you can eat, obviously. They have some incredible things out there, but that is what I've gotten started with. And I think in 2 months, I think I'm down about 15 pounds. So, and it's made a big difference for me in terms of my climbing and my cycling. And I'll get into those things in future videos. This is the first video of a new channel. I haven't done videos like of this. I've done a lot of, on a different channel, I've done a lot of software development, computer programming videos, where I'm not even in the video. It's just me talking over the code. So this is a new venture for me, and glad, there's probably like 2 people that are going to watch this, but it's good practice for me. I'm going to keep going with it, and you can join me on this plant-based journey. So we'll see you. Oh wait, it's the camera.